recording is ready. So then the next thing is, let me share my screen. Entire screen share. Okay, stop, and then let us go to GCP console. VM instances. So let me create one VM instance. Let me create a VM instance. Let me call it as my Linux VM. My Linux VM. So let it be a E2 medium machine, and then OS I am changing it to Ubuntu. OS I am changing it to Ubuntu. Select. Networking. We don't have any other networks. We have only the default network. So just create the machine. Create. Let the machine be created. So let us get back to syllabus what we are covering. GCP DevOps device agenda. So when you look at this, so far we have covered GCP basics. So we had completed VM deployment, VPC network, and load balancing, and we have completed this part. Oh, I had already gone through the basic Linux commands, of course. Creating a Windows VM and installing a IIS server, static website, all these things we have completed. Installing HTTPD server also completed. Networking basics also completed. We have adding VMs to the VPC and all other things had already completed. So we took long time for this load balancing, and we have completed this. In the part 2, what we are going to see is version management tool, Git and build tool Maven. So we will revisit the basic Linux commands again, and then we will go with the installation of Git and installation of VS Code, Java, and creating Git repository and basic commands and other Git commands, and creating a Maven project. So that will be the part 2 agenda. Probably we will be going through them in today's class. Okay. So that is about me. Then let us go with this VM machine. Once this machine is installed, so let us go with the basic Linux commands. This is just a revisiting of Linux commands. Basic Linux commands. Yep. Just SSH into this Linux machine. just clear this. Now let us go into the basic Linux commands one by one. So ls, actually ls has to list all the files in that respective folder, but when there are no files, there is no meaning in ls to display them. So that is why it is not displaying anything. So later, how to create files? So we can create files using number of ways. So the file creation process. So creating files in Linux. So creating files in Linux. Number one, we can use cat command. We can use a touch command. We can use VI editor or nano editor. These are the different ways we can create the Linux commands. Let us go one by one. Okay. So first thing, cat, I will be creating F1. Let us say FR files. First file. So this is my first file. This file created using cat command. Control C. When you press Control C, it will be completed. Now if you say ls, file is already there. If you want to see the contents of that file, you can use again cat F1. Sorry, cat F1. So this is the first file, and the last line is not inserted into that one. The reason for this is we have pressed Control C in the same line. So we have to press Control C in the next line. We have to press Control C in the next line. When you press enter, and then you have to press the Control C. So that is why the last line is not added into the file. So if you want to update this file, you can use nano F1, and you can add, this is very simple. Nano is a editor where you will be creating your files very simply. This is my first file. So updated this using nano. Updated this using nano. So after this, here you can press Control X. You can see the options there. So you can see the options there. So when you want to save, press yes, and then press enter, and then cat F1, you will be seeing it. So again, if you say nano F1, so this is where you will be getting your file. So these are the options. These are the options for the various other activities. But however, using backspace and the up and down keys, we can up the arrow marks, you can update this file. So that is always allowed. Okay. So this is what you will be having with respect to the file. Okay, press Ctrl X, and then we have not made any changes. That is why it is not asking to save. So the other option for creating file is touch F2. Touch F2. Let us say ls. So you can see F2 is created. And what is the contents of F2? Cat F2. There is nothing in this file. If you want to add something into this file, you can say nano F2. Nano F2. So now you can, this is my second file. Just we are adding some text. So you can add what all you want. Okay, you can add what all you want, and then press Ctrl X, say Y, press enter, and then cat F2 to see the contents of that file. So this is what you will be creating the files. And there is one more option, VI new file. VI is a editor. So to write into this editor, you have to use I for insert. So then we can write what all we want. Then we can write what all we want. So like that you can write and then press escape, and to complete this use WQ. So cat new file. Cat new file. Okay. So like this we can create the files in Linux. So in Linux, files can be created in 3-4 different ways. So of that we have seen few different ways. One is cat, the another one is sketch. The other two options are nano and vi. Nano and vi are editors in Linux or editors in Linux. Okay. So like that you can create files in Linux. So once you are good in creating files with Linux, the other option that what you can see here is creating directories in the other thing is creating directories in this environment. So what we can do? So what is the command for creating a directory? mkdir, let us say d1. So if you say ls, then you can see the directories. So ls can be used with various options. So ls-l, it will display the complete description of the file, of the contents of the file. So -l, list, long list, it is nothing but a long list. So what it will do? So it will display the permissions for that file, and D denotes it's a directory, and directories are blue in color. Directories are in different color. And similarly, when you look at a file will be having permissions, and hyphen means that it is a file. Hyphen means that it is a file, and permissions for that file. Permissions for that file. Okay. So like that we can use ls-l, and similarly ls-a. When you use ls-a, hyphen a is used for displaying the hidden files. So these are all the hidden files in the directory. Those are not usually shown. Hyphen a will display the hidden files in the directory. ls-a-l. So now you can see hidden files are also displayed with the permissions. ls-a hidden files are also displayed with permissions. So these are the hidden files, and these hidden files are displayed with their permissions. And similarly there is another option, ls-r. It will be displaying the directory contents also. So if I use ALR, now you can see subdirectories also it will be displaying. So this is what is the one, and then it has taken cache subdirectory. In this subdirectory it is having some other files. It is having two more directories, and then it is having some file. It is displaying that file, and then it is having local is having its own directories followed by a file. So current directory and parent directory, you know what is dot and what is dot. Dot is current directory and dot is parent directory. Okay, like that it will be displaying all the contents that are present in this particular. So a command can be used with options. When we use a command with options, it will be having a different purpose. So you can use it in a different purpose. So like that we can create we can look into the files in a particular directory using the list ls. ls stands for list. ls hyphen l stands for long list. Hyphen a hidden files. Hyphen r recursive list of files. Hyphen r recursive list of files. You can use combination of the options also. We can use the combination of the options also. Okay. So if you don't use L here, then you can see it is displaying like this. Okay. It is not giving the options. Rather it is displaying all the files. Okay. If you don't use A, so there is nothing in D1. So that is why it is not displaying anything in D1. Okay. So like that we can use ls with different options. Okay. So the next command is after ls we are having cd. cd stands for change directory. Let us move on to a new directory d1. ls. There is nothing in this directory. But you want to copy the new file into this directory. So what you can do, cp is for copy. Copy from where? From parent directory, new file, from parent directory, new file to current directory, to D1. So now say ls. So ls is having new file. What is there in current file? This one, cat new file. You can see the contents. If you go to the parent directory, cd ls, so you can see new file is also there. So a copy of new file is created. A copy of new file is created even in the D1 directory. A copy of new file is created even in the new D1 directory. Okay. So like that we can move between the files. Like that we can move between the directories. Okay. So now let us move on to D1 directory. And you have already new file. What you are having? ls, new file. But now you want to create a copy of new file, but it should be another file. So for that what you can say, cp new file, but you want to give it a new name. For the same file you want to give it a new file. So you can say you can just say some f3 ls. Now you can see there are two files. f3 is also a file, but what is there in f3? So it is copy of new file. The contents of f3 and new file both are same. The contents of f3, because we have copied the contents from new file to f3, both are same. Okay. So like that we can create. So if you want to, now you want to modify the name of new file. You want to change the name of new file. How can you change the name of new file? So for that we have a command called mv. mv is for two purposes. One is mv for move, mv for rename. So now I want to modify new file to f4. So now if you say ls, so your new file is modified to f4. Name is changed to f4. So cat f4. You can see. Okay. So now I want to move the f4 to parent directory. So mv, again same mv, f4, but move it to parent directory. So now if you say ls, f4 is not available. But where is f4? f4 is in the change directory to parent directory. cd space ... It moves you to the parent directory. Now if you say ls, there you can see f4. So f4 is moved from D1 directory to parent directory. So mv file name, if you give path, that is a directory name. So that will be moved into this directory. If you don't, if you give a new file mv, it will rename. It will rename. So mv can be used for renaming as well as moving. Renaming and moving. What is difference between copy and move? Copy creates a duplicate copy of the same file. Copy creates the duplicate copy of the same file. MV copies the file but deletes in source. That means moving will be deleting the file in the source directory. What is the source directory for F4? Source directory for F4 is D1. It is moved on to the parent directory. It is moved on to the parent directory, and hence F4 is deleted in the source directory. So that is why D1 is not containing F4 anymore. D1 is not containing F4 anymore. Okay. So this is mv command. Okay. So let us go with the next command, and then cat we have completed, and then cat, if you want to see cat F1 F2, it is displaying both the contents of the file. So what is there in F1? Cat F1 is updated. So up to this it is F1. Up to this it is F1. And F2 is this part. F2 is this part. Now I want to move the contents of F1, F2 to a new file F5. To a new file F5. Let us see what's happening. So ls. F5 is created. F5 is created. Cat F5. And you can see the contents of F5 is a concatenation of contents in F1 as well as contents in F2. It combined contents in F1 and contents in F2. So if you want to combine two files, you can use this. You can use this command. Cat, what are all files you want to combine? Greater than symbol followed by F, followed by the new file name. So this will be moved on to this. Like that, we can combine the files. Okay. So next command. So ls cat move, it is done. Sudo su. You want to upgrade the user. If you want to upgrade the user to root. What is root? Root is nothing but administrator in Linux. Root is nothing but administrator in Linux. So you want to upgrade to root in Linux. So then you can use the command sudo su. Sudo su. Okay. So what is the advantage of the sudo su is you will be having administrator privileges. If you want to install a software, if you want to update the system, so then you want to do sudo su. Okay. So if you want to quit, you can simply say exit. It will exit from root. It will exit from root. So now is root is now changed to normal user. So you have exited. So you can see the difference. Here we had mentioned as root, but now we are not mentioned as root. Okay. So the user, whenever you want to promote the user as an administrator, then you can use sudo su. So administrator is root is nothing but Linux administrator. Root is nothing but Linux administrator. Okay. So now the next commands. So rm. So rm. So if you want to know what is rm, you can say man rm. So this will displays the options for the usage of the command. Man is nothing but manual page for the command. Manual page for the command. You can press Q to quit. RM F5. So what are all the contents in this file? In this directory, we have F5. Now if I say RM F5 ls, F5 is deleted. F5 is deleted. RM D1. RM D1. D1 cannot be removed because D1 is a directory. D1 is a directory. So to remove a directory, what you can say? RMDIR D1. Fail to remove. Directory is not empty. Directory is not empty. So RMDIR will be used to delete when the directory is empty. So if I say mkdir D2 ls, so D2 directory is created. D2 is a directory. You can see it in blue. Okay. So now if I say RMDIR D2, it will delete. It will delete because it is empty. Once it is not empty, how to delete? RM hyphen R D1 ls. D1 is deleted. So it will delete recursively the contents of that directory. So for that one you have to use RM. So when the directory is empty, you can go for RMDIR. When the directory is not empty, you have to go for RM hyphen R. RM hyphen R. Okay. So like that we can delete the contents of, we can delete the directories also. We can delete the directories also. Okay. Then what is the next command? So we had did all these things. Help is also similar to man, but in a different way. Help. You can go with this. So otherwise, you can say rm hyphen hyphen help. Help. This will display the usage of the file. Okay, of the particular command. Hyphen hyphen help you can use. If you want to know how to use that file of that particular option, so then you can go with using this. Okay. So let us say clear, and then basic commands, what are all left. So we had did all these things. Now change mod. ls hyphen l. You can see this is a file F1 which is not allowed to execute. Which is not allowed to execute. So now you can say change mod plus x F1 ls. Now you can see F1 is displayed in green color. And let us say ls hyphen l. ls hyphen l. You can see there is x added. Here there is no x. X for execute. R for, what is R? R for read. W for write. X for execute that file. X for execute that file. Okay. So you can add the option execute. When you add that option, the file will be displayed in green color. If it is displayed in blue color, then it is a directory. If it is displayed in green color, then it is an executable file. Then it is a executable file. Okay. So if there is a binary file, to execute a binary file, you need to add the permission, then it can be executed. So like that, we will be having the files for the change mod. Okay. So next one, echo sample. It will just display sample. Echo x. Echo x. It will display x. X is equals to 5. Echo x. It will display x. Echo $x. It will display 5. It will display 5. So you can use set y to 7 and then echo 7 and then echo y $y. It will display the contents of y. It has to display the contents of y. Echo y. Echo $y. Echo $y. Y is equals to 7. Echo $y. Okay, set is not working in this particular Linux, so you can remove. You can ignore that one. Set is not working. So if you want to see the contents of a variable, then you can use it. So there is another option, unset x. So echo $x. So there is nothing now in x. So now you can say x is equals to some 10. Then you can say echo $x. So like that you can use the set and unset options for declaring and removing the variables, but here you can use assignment operator directly instead of set. Is equals to operator instead of set. Okay, so that is another variables, echo, set, unset, and then VI also we have completed. And the last thing here is top. So top displays the task manager, the processes that are running, in this command, the processes that are running in this machine. You can use top command. So if you want to command, press Q. Q will brings you out. If you want to increase some CPU load is very low here. You want to increase the CPU load. For that, yes greater than /dev/null ampersand. You can see increase in the CPU load. So you can see there is CPU load increased. Okay. So this command is used to stress the CPU. That means this will it will create some dummy commands and it will make the CPU to run with maximum utilization. It makes the CPU to run with maximum utilization. Okay, so this is what about the basic Linux commands. I request all of you to practice these commands. And now the next part of the session is Git. The next part of the session is Git. Okay. I want all of you to install Git on your machines. To install Git on your machines. So I have Git, I think I have Git already. Let me uninstall a program that is Git. Right click, uninstall. So are you surely want, yes, I want to remove this Git for now. Okay. So Git is removed from my computer. So now what I want to do is, I want to install Git again. Google, go to Google, Git download, Git download, download Git. So you will be having this command, this, and then there will be Windows option, download. Most of the people you may be getting Git desktop. Don't install Git desktop. So install Git, and this is the link for downloading Git. Copy and put it in your group. Let me put it in your group, and you can download Git from there. Click on this 64-bit Windows setup. It will be downloaded very fastly. It will not take more time. Open this. It will be, and then right click on this, say run as administrator. Say run as administrator. It will be giving you some license information. Need not to worry about all these things. So just say next. So your Git will be installed in this location. Yes, there was a copy already. If you want a desktop icon, you can use this additional icon on desktop. Next. 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 Let Git decide. Recommended. Yes. 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 So it will be installed in very less time. Finish. So Git bash. So Git bash is, you can use all the Linux commands in Git also. So you can use ls. You can use mkdir. Okay. What not? You can use other commands. You can use other commands. And then once Git is ready, the second step is, you want to create a Git account. A Git account. Okay. So github.com. github.com. So once you are a new user, you have to click sign up. You have to click sign up. Welcome to GitHub. Enter your email. So enter your email. So enter your email. What is this my Gmail? enter your email and say continue. Create a password. Create a password. Create a password and say continue. Enter your username. Continue. Continue. Verify your account. So, protecting your account. Please solve the puzzle or you are a real person. Verify. So, what you want to do? Use the arrow and rotate the object to face in the direction of the hand. Yep, like this, and say submit. Done. So verify, your account is verified. So a code is sent. Launch code is sent to this mail. Go to this mail. Launch code is here. Just copy this launch code. Copy. Come here and paste it from the first cell. Okay, and it will be asking you for the username and password. So what is the username we gave? CREGCP, and the password, what is the password you have selected? Use that, and then sign in. And then sign in. So I am a teacher, you are a student. Okay, so age, it is asking some things, you need not to worry, just put it there. Continue. So now apply for GitHub teacher benefits. So it will ask a few things. I will just continue for free. You can also continue for free. So these steps. So in today's class, what you need to complete is today's class tasks. Number 1, practice the Linux commands. Practice the Linux commands. Number 2, download and install Git. Download and install Git. Not Git desktop. I had shared you this link. Use the same link. And then third one, create a GitHub account. Create a GitHub account. So these are the things that what you need to do. I request all of you to complete these tasks by tomorrow's class. So that is what we are having. That's all for today. We will meet in next class. Thank you for today. So I am stopping the recording.